Let's get drunk at the director's garage. Let's get drunk at the director's garage. It don't matter wherever you are. Let's all get drunk at the director's garage.
Humpday, Humpday, happy hour. Humpday, happy hour hangout. Humpday, let's get down. Happy hour hangout. Well, let's get drunk at the director's garage.
I'm having fun. Look out, everyone. Welcome to the Humpday Happy Hour Hangout here at the Director's Garage live. We are live across the YouTubes, across the internets. Wow, lots to do today. Lots to talk about today. First of all, you heard the first sound that we did a couple of new themes and stuff for fun, and that was one of them. With that first clip, the acoustic blues number was part of it. I had a good time with that. I've got a couple of other things that are going to surprise and drop in over time. I did some work on, so I just had some fun and had some time and worked on some production for the show. So the new sounds are fun. I've also got a new toy. This is an old toy that I'm now trying for the first time, and I'll explain this. This is it. This is a Stream Deck. I have had this thing stuck in a drawer for probably 4 years, maybe 3 years, and I've never figured out how to make it work in a way that made sense to me. The goal I always wanted to have was to use it as a switcher, so I didn't have to use software clicks. So when I change cameras by pushing buttons, I normally have to do that using a piece of software and use the mouse. But the problem is when I do that, how many times on this live stream have you heard me say, oh, I got to find my switcher. Where'd I put the switcher? Well, now I've got the switcher. They had a version of this out earlier, but it did not work very well. And now they've got it sort of perfected. So I can do all of the things. This is all the things I use on this show visually to control the picture going out to you guys. And now I've got it all on one page, and I can do all kinds of, just simple cuts and dissolves and stuff and control them at the touch of a button. And I don't need to mouse around on my computer screen. I can leave my show notes up and, things I want to talk about. And I don't have to keep referring back to the switcher. That said, it doesn't control audio. And one of the things, when I go and I play something off the laptop, I've got to control audio. So I still have to find the switcher for that. But I'm going to do something real quick here. And I'm going to show off a video that I've been working on. This is to promote my photography business. I've had a couple of shoots now, and I thought if I put all that together into some sort of promotional video, I can drop it on Instagram. Director's Garage Photography is my Instagram page for my photography stuff. And do clever, right? I just thought I need some way to keep this all in the same family somehow, because it's all business. So I created this video. Hang on 2 seconds. I'm going to call this up. That's kind of interesting. I thought you might like to see it, because I put some days into this to get this to come out the way I wanted it to. Let's see, we have to do that with VLC. Okay, now I've got to kill the audio real quick. Okay, good. Oh, it's in 16:9. It doesn't like this raster. Let's see. How can I do this? All right, so let's go to full screen and see what happens. Hi! No, I don't like that. Oh, it's not going to do it. All right, so here's what I got to do. I just have to... I'll play this for you, but you're going to see the desktop underneath it because it is in 16:9 form. All right, so let's bring the... How do I do this? See, this is what happens when you don't practice, boys. Let's see if I can... Ah. All right, maybe we don't show it. Okay, that's good. All right, so I'm going to pause the music for a second, and we'll go to that's why I'm leaving the headphones on today for a second, because I want to be able to hear what it is I'm showing you. So I can go to the MacBook. So this right here is this will come up on a phone in theory. And I'll play this real quick, and you can check it out. So this is the
Director's Garage Photography takes real estate marketing from the ordinary to the extraordinary.
There we go. All right.
Led by 10-time Emmy
this up
Award. Director's Garage Photography takes real estate marketing from the ordinary
Sorry if I blew
to
your
the
ears out.
extraordinary. Led by 10-time Emmy Award-winning director and producer Michael DeLazar,
That's
Director's
me.
Garage brings Hollywood storytelling to real estate. Using advanced lighting, HDR compositing, and next-generation editing, every listing is transformed into a cinematic experience that stands out from the competition.
I'm bringing cinematic storytelling to real estate.
Recognize the
turning
background.
listings into experiences.
Director's Garage Photography. Elevate your next listing. Book today.
So
Director's
there you
Garage
go.
Photography
Let's get rid of that. Okay, so that's what's going on there. I've been working on that for a while, and no, let's get the music going. Do we have it back? I don't have music. Hopefully that worked. If anything didn't work, we'll let you know. You can let me know. But I just wanted to show off that video because I've been working on that for a while, and so that launched today. That's on my Instagram page, Director's Garage Photography, and I like to share stuff with you guys that I'm working on, so that you're kind of up in the thing. So I can put the calderas down for now. That's what I'm using today, and we can get on with doing stuff today. Now, what we're going to do today is a few things. We'll talk about the last episode because obviously I'm sure you guys have some questions about that. We're going to open a new product today that came in from the merch site, and I've got a recommendation, something you guys should check out. I put it in the comments below. We'll talk about that. Got a CanJam announcement. Okay, so we got a lot to do today. Let's just get on with it, shall we? The first thing is if you've noticed, I have not listed the Carbon 2 on HeadFi yet, and that's because there's just too damn many of them. There were a bunch of them listed, and I'm like, I just need the field to clear out a bit. It's boxed up. I will not pull it out again because in my head it's sold. It's moving on to a new home, and it's time to let that one go. So it's not gonna. It will not be returning to the lineup for Nights of Listening anymore because I want to go to the next person, and I don't want to damage it. So I'm not going to leave it kicking around the studio, kicking around the garage here while we're trying to sell it. Because I want everybody to get a really good, I want it to be in top shape. So it's going to be listed. I'm hoping by next week some of these existing headphones that are, oh, Jesus. My phone's just going bananas here. Hopefully by next week they'll clear out the market a little bit, and we'll have some room to list them. Because right now I'm going to get nothing for them. They're just going to sit there on the market doing nothing. So, because there's a bunch of them, like somebody listed theirs at a bargain basement, got a blow it out price of like $3,500, and I'm like, I'm not taking $3,500 for my headphone. I don't care. I won't. I'll just keep it because it's just worth more than that. And now somebody else has dropped a price, so there's a lot of pricing going on. So I'm like, let's just sit for a minute, let the market clear out a little bit, and then I'll list mine. But that will be coming soon. Give me your thoughts on that Shootout video. My favorite moment from it was flying the camera inside the B-21 Raider. I literally took the camera. There's this camera that's pointed down right here. I literally took that camera and held it, and I flew it. I just held it, and I ran it through at super high frame rate through the bottom of the amp. Like, I took the cover off the amp, which I never do that, but I did it in this case. And I flew it because it looked so cool on the inside, and I thought it looked like a little miniature city or something. And I just flew it. I just held it and turned it and banked it, and that's how I did those tracking shots. Was I literally holding a pocket camera down there and just manipulating it, turning it. And I had to do it a whole bunch of times because I kept, like, I'd hit the side of the case and the camera would, jerk. And then I wouldn't have it sit right, or my arm would be in the wrong position. When I go to do the turn, I don't have enough crank on my arm to get it to turn around. It was a lot of fun. But I thought it was fun to go inside an amp and fly you around in the inside of such a great amp like that, that's laid out so beautifully on top of it, and then all of the effects. If you look at that video, and like, there is more cutouts and logos and effects with, we get into the headphones to electrify and the background to electrify and like all that stuff. There was so much going on in that video. It was definitely I would say it was the most production intensive episode I've ever done. The only one that rivals it is probably my CanJam recap from last year, which is at the top of my YouTube page. That one was super intense too. I did a lot on that one, but this is a longer video than that. This was 30 minutes, and I think I kept it going throughout most of it. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun. The other thing I'd need to note on that, and the Patreon crew knows, my AC was out the entire time I was in post on that thing. So I am down here, and it's in this room. It was 90 plus 95 degrees, and I've got the gear on. I've got all my hard drives on. I've got the Mac running, which is just all the Mac does is it generates heat. It dissipates way more energy in the form of heat than it does in computing power. I'm convinced of that. And then it's hot down here, and the computer is starting to malfunction. The video cards kept crapping out because it was overheating, and so I'm like blowing. I'm like turning the fans up to max, which is then rushing air through there, 95 degree air through there, and it's blowing it out even hotter onto my knees. It was like one of the craziest weeks. I'm like, it was miserable. I joked that was the first episode I think that I may have edited naked. It was so hot. I was just down here dripping the entire time, but I wanted to get that episode done. And the next couple of episodes are starting to shape up. And it's looking really good. I've got products, I think, on the way, and there's a couple of things happening this week, and we've got some major players coming in soon. Some stuff that you guys have really been asking for, and I'm super excited about that. One of them is going to be maybe my most expensive episode yet. I'll tease that. It might be my most expensive. I'm trying to think of what I've done, and maybe, that's going to be right up there with one of the most expensive episodes. It's coming. That's going to be, that's coming soon, and I'm excited about that. It's some things are still getting aligned, and I'm working on getting the products here, but there will be a couple of What's in the Box episodes coming, and then some major episodes ahead. So stay tuned with that. The Patreon folks will probably know a little bit more. I'll probably tip a little bit more on that on the Hangover Hangout this weekend. I do not have a guest book. I was trying to get Justin Wilson from Headamp, and I've reached out a couple of different ways, and I can't get him to respond. I really want to talk to Justin on the show. First of all, I'm a huge fan of his. I'm a huge fan of Headamp. I've owned the Blue Hawaii. I've owned the GSX Mark II. I think they're both fabulous products. I've owned the Continental V5. I've still owned the Pico Slim, which is remarkable near credit cards, like the size of the original iPod Nano, that small little like gum stick sized music player, MP3 player from the aughts. And he developed an amp that was that small, and it's just powerful as hell too. It's a lot like the Intruder. Like, it just has a ton of punch for this tiny little thing. Absolutely fabulous. So I've been trying to get him. I want to get him on the show so much. And I'm also like one of my favorite amps of all time is the Studio 6, the head amp Studio 6. And now he's got the CFA3 out, which is a design that I think came from Kevin Gilmore, and he's put it into his version of it, decoratively and logistically, and just getting rave reviews. I would love to get I just want to get him on the show, and don't have a way to. I've tried to reach out through his support page and just getting their attention over there. I'm not getting any response, but I'm hoping that they do get back to me. And I've been talking to a lot of people around the industry lately. I also know that. Well, let's do this. Let's open. I've got one thing to open today, and it's a product that came in. I know what this is, but I have not seen it yet in person. So this will be fun. I got the Sony. I got the light on up there, so we can just go to the Sony. There it is. Okay, so here's the package. So we can open this up. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff here. Music is life, folks. Music is life. So. I know it's shameless. I know, but so let's get this thing open. And do I have a knife? Yes, I do. It's not my normal knife. I've misplaced my normal knife. I don't know. Oh no, it's right there. Oh, I found it. Oh, this is better. This is the knife my brother-in-law gave me. It was when he retired from the Coast Guard. And I've used it on every episode ever. I'm trying not to cut too deep here because there's stuff in here. All right, there we go. All right, so let's just do it. What do you say? Are you ready? All right, whatever. And what we have is a polo. This is a white polo with the headphone logo in it. And I wanted a white one because all I've ordered are the black ones. So this has got the larger logo. Remember, we said we were going to go with a little bit of the larger logo. So it's against my instinct. I still like it smaller myself, but there you go. You guys voted. I listened. So this is the white polo, the white version of this shirt. And I'm not going to wear this. I'll wear this on the show sometime. But I wanted to get one in, so I had one to wear around because these are really comfortable and they're nice. They've got they're a little on the thinner side. I would love to find a thicker polo for like the fall. These are great for summer though, and going around. And I'm a fan of this brand now. This is Port Authority that's making these. These are all available on the website, the directorsgarage.com website. If you're interested in that. And we've got all kinds of shit there. We've got caps, and I've got this cool, make it large, he said, and the coffee mugs, and there's all kinds of shit up there. So go ahead and check that out if you want. Director's Garage, that's enough hawking shit, right? Let's get into some other stuff. But I do, what this is leading into is I'm going to have t-shirts too, like this one. This is the crew neck, the thin material crew neck, because it is pushing 95 degrees in LA right now, and it's going to get up to over 100 by the end of the week. So I'm like, the thinner shirts are going to play. I'm going to have it looks like, I don't want to say, for definitive sure, but it's looking very likely that I'm going to have a table at CanJam. And I'll probably bring samples. I don't think I'll bring product itself for sale because that means I've got to order it, get it here in advance, have it ready, and then what happens if it doesn't sell? I'm stuck with these extra t-shirts and all this overstock. What I'll probably do is I'll be there and I'll have a QR code and then I'll have a discount code. There will be a discount for CanJam on the gear, on the merch gear. If you can't wait, go now. Shop today. God. But I wanted to roll this stuff out and be wearing it and show people what it looks like. So I'm going to have some samples with me so people can check out what they are and get their fingers on it and see that the quality is as good as I say. And the mugs are nice. These things, well, this thing gets beat around because I take it with me everywhere. But you know, all the stuff is of high quality, like I say. So I'm gonna probably be at. So I'll have a table. I'll talk more about this as we get closer. But it looks like I'm gonna have a space at CanJam where I can meet you guys. First of all, you'll know where to find me. I'll just hang out there and then branch away to go look at some stuff. But I'll probably be there both days then. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday, which I usually only do one of the days, but I'll probably do both days if I'm going to have a table there. So I can show you guys off, so I can show off this stuff. It's important to me. I've worked hard on this, and I think it's fun stuff that's fun to wear. Underwear that's fun to wear. So lame. Let's get into some chat in just a second. I do want to show one other thing off, and this is something I came across on YouTube, and I need a browser, and I've got to go to YouTube. I can't play the audio from this because I'll get, YouTube? There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now let's look up, ooh boy, I don't have a dark background set on this. Okay, so I'm going to show something off. I got to mute. I got to mute this tab because I can't show it. All right, but what this is, you know, I'm a big fan of reel-to-reel. So I tend to like try and watch as much reel-to-reel material on YouTube as I can, because I love the stuff. But somebody has, there's an ensemble in, I believe it's in Japan, of guys who play reel-to-reel decks in harmony. And so what they're doing, if you're familiar with the instrument mellotron, a mellotron is a keyboard that's attached to loops of tape. And you could load different instruments onto the tape. And when you push a key, it would run that tape past a playback head. So and it would play for as long as 8 seconds. That's as long as the tape went. So you could hold a note for 8 seconds, but then you got to let it go because it's got to rewind and get back to its initial position. So famously, the mellotron was used on the beginning of Strawberry Fields. They used I think it was a flute. It was a flute mellotron, and then also there was another flute mellotron on the beginning on Stairway to Heaven. The flute at the beginning is not a real flute; it's a keyboard. It's a mellotron that's playing a flute tape loops. So you can load this thing up with anything, and they've done it with a million things. They've done it with strings, famously. A lot of mellotron strings segments, like Moody Blues used it famously on Days of Future Past. Mellotron is all over that on strings. They had string tapes loaded in it, so you could play chords and stuff, and these strings would run past. So it's really it's really fantastic. And it's got a very unique sound because tape has a whoa and flutter to it. So it doesn't play linearly like you would, say, if you sampled it and put it on a keyboard. it's got a little bit of a whoa and flutter. And there are actually now plugins you can buy for your DAWs, for your digital audio workstations, that will let you play a synthesized mellotron. So it'll actually mimic that whoa and flutter and the unevenness of the notes, but it gives you the same parameters. So I had fun. I wanted to learn the beginning of Strawberry Fields because it's my favorite Beatles song of all time, and I was able to do that. I was able to teach myself how they did that intro. Just amazing stuff. So anyway, that's all to lead into this video that I'm going to show you. And that's these guys who use tape loops as an instrument. So, oops, nope. That didn't work. That didn't work. Hold on, folks. And I think I got the wrong. All right, here we go. All right, now, all right, this time for sure. Okay. So this is these guys, and they're playing tape decks. They're running tape loops through the tape head, and it's playing back. And they can control pitch by changing the speed on that they draw. It's the most incredible sound I've seen I've heard in a while, and it was so fun. And these guys are just hypnotic the way this plays out. I just think this is so cool. I put the link down in the description below. Don't click off this video. Wait till the end of the episode and then go look at it, as I see all the viewers just drop down to nothing. But it's something to hear and experience. These guys using reel-to-reel decks as instruments in an ensemble. And it's like a string ensemble, so it's a tape ensemble. Fascinating stuff. I think that's incredible, and that's a recommendation for you guys. They're called the Tape Bowing Ensemble because they use a bow, and then they run the tape through the tape heads, and they do it all. And then the other thing that you'll see as it's playing, it's like it's not pre-recorded on the tape. This is going to get a little confusing, but follow me. They're using a synthesizer, and as they're rolling the tape across the head, they're recording the synthesizer, and then they're playing it back. They have the playback head engaged at the same time. So as they're playing a synth, it's writing it to the tape, and then they're controlling the pitch by using the wand. So it's just it's mind-bending stuff, but it's really cool the way they're doing it. And I've seen this used. The guitarists were using this technique to get an echo back in the 70s, a loop back. So Jimmy Page used it on a ton of Zeppelin stuff, where he would play a note and then it would come back, and he could control the pitch of it. All very interesting stuff. God, it's just fascinating. I just love this stuff. I love production, and it's a good time. All right, let's get into some chat here. We're a half an hour in. I got to go pick up Mrs. Director in an hour, so I need to keep mindful of our time here today. So we're not overdoing it. And I make my pickup because Mrs. Director, she is on 2 feet. She's got a shoe on now. She can wear a shoe, which is good. You know, remember thinking back a couple weeks ago, she broke her foot, and I have been she was on like a scooter, and she was on crutches and a boot, and now she's in soft shoes for the first week, in limited capacity, but she's getting around without the crutches, and that's just key. And it is getting hot in here, so I think. By the way, we did fix the air conditioning. Thank God. Because it was unbelievably hot in here. I mean, fellas, it was brutal. It was brutal. All right. Cheeky Fest in the house. Hello. Ask Luria live streaming pros. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to look it up. I'll copy it over to my show notes. I'm not sure what that is. Christian Lopez, and when he finds when he sees a listing with some hi-fi gear in the pictures, his interest is piqued. Not the fake staging of cheap turntable floating on a console, but real systems from real audio files. Yeah, I tend to isolate the tend to isolate when I'm do listing gear, if that's what you're talking about. When I'm listing gear, I usually isolate the item that I'm selling, because I don't want to confuse people and say, although I have put some, like if I was selling something and my cat got into the picture, I think I was selling a bicycle once, and the cat sat down like right at the base of the bicycle and was kind of looking up at it, and I took the picture, and in the listing I just joked, cat not included. Cat sold separately. So that was, but yeah, it is fun to look at stuff in real systems, and that's why I encourage you guys to send in your photos of your systems, because I like to see what your systems are and how you're using them. So if you want to do that, you can do that right here at directorsgarage@gmail.com. directorsgarage@gmail.com. We show off user photos on this show all the time, and it's a lot of fun. I love doing it. And look, I'll fade it out, I think. Nope. I can't fade it out? Yeah, I can. See that? I just did it. I'm still learning all the buttons on the Stream Deck, on what you set for what, but pretty good. This is handy because normally there are 3 times an episode that I'm like, all right, where'd I put my switcher? I need to change to the laptop, and now I've got this all right here. Now I could mount the switcher itself up here, but the fans on it are really noisy, and I don't want to put fan noise this close to the microphone because it will really disrupt the audio on the episode. And I do like audio. I like having the audio as nice as it can be. But there you go. Christian says he revisited a listing with clipped speakers and Mac gear many times, even though the rest of the property made no sense for him. Okay. Yeah, I usually don't try and show it off, because then people will think, is this a bundle, or they'll get sidetracked from the mission of trying to sell the device, whatever it is I'm trying to sell. Where are the photos? Let's see. Where are the photos of that? Because I did take some nice photos of if I can find them. I just don't know where I put them. And if I can transfer them over. Let's see. I think they were off the desktop. I'll show you the photos of the Carbon 2 I took that are going to come to the listing. Here they are. Okay, so if I can get these over to the MacBook. But my AirDrop system has not been... Oh, it's working. Oh, that's fabulous. All right, let's take a look at the Carbon 2 photos that I'm going to use to sell. Something to look at. All right, here we go. All right, there. All right, so let's take a look at it. Here's, oh shit, let's get rid of that. So that, and I actually used the Macintosh as a background because I wanted some of the tube goodness in the background. But this is all just audio porn, guys. I mean, I lit this with, I'll show you what I lit it with when we get done looking at them. You can see the grid though. This is from the light. See this right here? That's what the light does. The light did that to it. When you get a hard reflection, a reflective surface, that's what it does. But this is a really nice light, and I had a good time doing this. I had to set all this up to get it to work right. But these are the photos I'm going to use to sell the Carbon 2 once it goes live. And then I wanted to show the case, because it comes with a case. You can see that's the background behind me in the Director's Garage. And then that's the product card with a list with the Audeze. So these are kind of cool. I think they look nice. I mean, I'd buy it if I was looking for one and I wanted to, it shows off that there's no blemishes or anything. These are pristine looking. They're very nice. So there you go. So those are the photos I'm going to use to list it with once I get the listing live. The light I used, standby. It's this big thing here. This is called It's this light right here. Now I can't turn it on because I don't have a battery, but this is called an Astra light panel. It's a light panel Astra 6X. And I mostly don't light with these when I'm taking photographs, but I needed a top-down light, and these little mini lights that I use all over the place, that I show off on the show all the time, there wasn't enough power, and it was too pinpoint. If you use a small light source, it creates a harsh shadow. You want a big light source. In fact, the light that's lighting me for the most part is a 4-foot octa grid with a grid in it. So a 3-foot octa. I think it's 3 feet. But it's giant light. So what it does is it creates very soft shadows instead of like hard lines under your face. And then I kick some light from below to fill in those shadows that it makes. But that light creates, I was able to put it really close to the object. So I have this big wall of light coming down on it. And that's how you get a nice soft effect when you are going to. And you can see that's part of the panel. You can see the panel up here, and then you can see the panel in this shot right here. It's very clear. That's that light panel that's hovering right over the device. Showing that off. So, very cool. Just want to let you guys know, tricks of the trade. So I didn't use a strobe on that. That was, you know, a lot of times I'll use a strobe when I'm taking photos like that, but that was a practical light. I just set up that's a broadcast light that I would normally use for an outdoor interview because it's very bright. It's insanely bright. It's bright enough to beat the sun, and if you have 2 of them, it's even better. You can do amazing things with those Astra panels, and they're cheap. They have a new version of this that's RGB, so it'll like do different colors and stuff. Those old Astra 6Xs are about $500-600 tops. They used to sell for $1,200 new, and they've come down because the technology's moved forward. But the light quality is very good on those, and it's bicolor, so you can do daylight or tungsten inside. There you go. Maybe you could embed some pictures of RFs of the Ray Samuel amps and ZMF cans to elevate the pictures. Oh yeah, my real estate stuff. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, you know, people. The key to real estate photography is they want it plain. They want it very uncluttered. You know, no stuff in it. So you're always pulling stuff out. In fact, I went to one of the gigs I just did was at a condo, a small like 1,200 square foot condo in Burbank, and we literally they had so much stuff in it, we had to move the entire house over to one side to make a nice clean space so I could shoot in one direction, and then we had to move all their stuff to the other side of the room to shoot in the other direction. Go big or go home. I'm not a polo kind of guy. Well, that's all right. We have t-shirts for everybody. We have long sleeves. We have jackets, all the stuff. But the white, yeah, I'm a fan. I like white shirts sometimes, but normally I'm in black. But I did want to have one nice white one to wear and to wear on the show. I hope I do CanJam New York City, says Mr. Dynamite. Well, I might if once I move out east. That becomes more of a possibility if once I get to Tennessee. I don't think I'm going to go to New York because it's too much out of my financial, you know, livelihood. So to get there, and I'd be there for a couple of days, and I got to find lodging and all that stuff. It's like, maybe. You know, but maybe when I get to Tennessee, I could find a way to do it. That would make sense. It also depends on how this stuff is selling. If this really takes off, I've had some good days. I've had some really good days where people are buying stuff, but it's not like a huge moneymaker yet. If I do it at CanJam and a lot of people buy the stuff and there's a lot of desire for it, or I get ideas for other designs that take off, whatever it is. Once it becomes lucrative, then it makes it worth my while because I want to make the money back. You know, I don't want to, it's expensive to do these shows. I mean, it's thousands of dollars. So, you know, you've got to have a back end on that makes it profitable, or at least pays for your time there, you know, if nothing else, break even. But I'll meet anybody at any of these shows. If you ever see me at one of these shows, just come up and say, hey, it's all good, man. It's all good, man. Cheeky Fest says, if it's a recording of a real flute, is it a real flute? No, it's a real tape. It's a real tape recording of that flute. But yeah, I don't think it's it's not a real. It can't be a real flute. But what I love about some of these headphones, you know, like the X9000, is they really do feel like you're in the room with that instrument. You know, when you have a high quality recording, and you don't need a digital recording for it to be high quality. I mean, there are plenty of, you know, if you listen to some of those early Blue Note records, or London Blueback recordings from the 50s, or, you know, the Living Stereo recordings, vinyl albums, they sound fabulous, and they were recorded with old-fashioned tape, but they were recorded well. They were recorded with using the right miking techniques. They were paid attention to the room. They don't have a lot of, you know, echo reflections coming back into the mic and canceling out frequencies. You know, they were really cognizant of how they were doing the recording, and they chose the right mics for the right instruments and the right vocals, and they got these phenomenal recordings. If you're on a headphone like the X9000 and you hear somebody playing a violin, it's like, wow, that violin's right next to your head. If it's a good recording, it just feels like you're sitting next to it. It's got a lot of that. Okay. Christian Lopez once again off to pick up his kid. Take care, friends. Well, cheers, my brother. Thank you for stopping by today. Appreciate your comments. Luria, read the Stream Deck. No, this isn't Luria that I'm using. It is something called, hang on, I'll tell it to you. I'll tell you what it is. It's by FoKus. It's by FoKus, and it's sort of in conjunction. Yeah, it's FoKus is the name of it. So FoKus is how you get the Stream Deck to load up with ATEM switcher information, because I use Blackmagic ATEM switcher on the show. I don't use, and there's different things you can do if you're using. I forgot the other thing is that you can the platform. There's some software that everybody uses that I've used. I tried it and it just didn't really do much for me. I don't have it handy. Can't talk about it. I can't tell you about it if I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, a lot of people use different software and stuff. I just happen to use this Blackmagic switcher into a Blackmagic web presenter, and that's what talks to YouTube and does the handshake. So because I have a Blackmagic camera, Blackmagic switcher, Blackmagic converters, it's like the whole system just kind of works together, and it's easy, and I kind of understand it. So that's sort of what I do. But you can use, I'm sure there are other ways to get the Blackmagic switcher onto the Stream Deck. This is just the one that I found that I got like 4 or 5 recommendations. And I had tried a different scheme before. I don't remember what the name of the software was I was using before, but I tried this back in like 22, maybe 23. And because I've had the Stream Deck has been around here for a long time. I bought it like in 21 or 22 during the pandemic. And I thought it would just make an easy way for me to do these live streams and switch it live and have buttons here so I'm not doing the software thing. But it was really buggy, and I couldn't make it work the way I wanted it to work. So I kind of gave up on it, and I shelved it. And then I had it on my desktop as sort of like a Photoshop tool, like, you know, to have all your tools. And I find that looking and finding the button takes much longer than just using the shortcut, the keyboard shortcut. So And editing, famously, there are all these gadgets, and I own every one of them. Things with like scroll wheels and special keyboards and all that. Nothing beats a keyboard shortcuts. If you learn the shortcuts of your Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, Avid, Final Cut, if you learn the keyboard shortcuts, the option, the option and command shortcuts, you will save way more time than having some dedicated controller to do something for you. It is just not fast enough. So that's my advice for anybody. Learn the keyboard shortcuts always when you're doing creative stuff. It will save you way more time than some fancy, stupid module thing with a knob on it, or balls, or like even I have the only exception I would make to that is mixing audio. If you're doing a big mix, having a mixer will save you time, for sure, because it's hard to grab faders and move them. And then the other thing is like on the mixer that I have, it's a Blackmagic mixer that goes with Resolve. The second I touch the fader, it activates the move that I'm about to make. So if it's playing through and I hear the music come up a little bit, I can just back up 3 seconds, play it again, and at the right point grab the fader and pull it down, and it will write that information and hold it there. So if I'm fading, under some audio or whatever, it does go faster when I have a lot of mixing to do. A lot of people are there's built-in software now that will automatically duck your audio for you. I've just never found good settings for that make it sound natural. It always sounds forced to me. So I always wind up doing it the old-fashioned way, which is make a keyframe in the audio timeline, and then make another keyframe, and then pull the audio down. Unless I'm using a mixer, then I just write it down. It's much faster. But the mixer takes up a lot of desk space, and I don't like to have this big mixer sitting on my desk 24/7. So there you go. Gents, Solo, glad you made it in, Michael. So glad to hear you got your AC fixed. Where I live, I get serious heat. We get serious heat in Los Angeles, I promise you. Can't imagine a life without the beloved AC. Yeah, I'm telling you, Nephilim, the room got so hot and the equipment got so hot, it stopped really working. Like I would get into things and I'd like drop a plug-in in, because I hope you guys appreciated and saw all the effects in that last episode, and like I just go to do something simple, like I'm popping up a graphic, and it's like everything's just slowing down, and then it won't do it, and it won't cache it, and it was putting glitches in the renders, and that's all because the video cards were getting too hot. It just could not manage, so I'd have to stop, let it cool off, and then do my move, and it was a lot of that back and forth. It was such a tedious episode to cut because of the heat. And then I was naked the whole time, so there was that. It's a pretty good distraction. Okay, no, terrible. I was not naked, at least that you know of. Okay, he's tubing pretty hard. Good, I'm glad you're still tubing, my friend. Glad you're still tubing. And I'm hoping that what's coming in is gonna lend itself to the tubes a little bit. It'd be fun to turn that Woo back on. I haven't used the Woo in a while. I've been using this B21 constantly because it's so good. All cases should be called Justin cases. Get it? There is a Justin cases. There's a company called Justin Cases that makes, if you're for your, like say you have a Canon C300 or something, like for a camera. Justin Cases makes these, what they do is they buy a Pelican case, and then they do custom inserts so that your camera fits exact, and then they'll do like little cutouts for the memory cards, and you keep everything organized for your camera inside of this thing. It's called Justin Cases. They're very nice, but they're also very expensive. They're about $500 a piece. But yes, they're great. Gil, cheers, Gil. Welcome. Listen to a lot of old Blue Nut Jazz recordings. Prestige is on average better. I like Prestige too. I think they're all good. I call the Blue Notes out because I happen to, they just make some titles that I just am so in love with, like Dexter Gordon Go, and there's some of these titles Cannibal Adderley albums and all that. I was like, oh god, the Blue Note recordings are so good. But yeah, I have Prestige. I have a lot of, I have the early Prestige pressings of Miles in EP form. I bought that on record, and they sound great. And then I have some Prestige. I think I have Prestige recording of Thelonious Monk before he went to CBS. I think he was on Prestige before then. So I think I have some Prestige recordings of that. They're good. They're all very good. They're wonderful. I like all that stuff, but you know, if it's good, the CBS had some really good 6-eye recordings. They used to call them 6 eyes because on the record label, I wish I had my records here. JTB would go laughing at my ass for being inept on the records, but they have these. They would put the CBS eye along the outer ring of the label, and there are some that had 3 on each side of the round inner label. And they called them 6-eye CBS recordings, and they were really good. They're very good. So good stuff all around. But you know, I'm still a slave to the reel-to-reels. I just love the reels, but they're so expensive. It's just so expensive to keep that going, especially in my financial situation. That's not happening. So I'm working on the photography right now, trying to get the photography up and, you know, really jamming, because I think that's going to be the way forward. I honestly do. I think that the entertainment industry out here has collapsed so badly, so crushingly. People who have done this business for their entire life are suddenly, you know, they can't book work like me. You know, I've booked maybe 4 or 5 gigs since September. These were all people who were like, oh my God, we've got so much work. These people are now going out of business. The people who said they were going to hire me are going out of business. Nobody foresaw, or at least if they did, they sold short and made a fortune, that the entertainment industry would completely collapse as it has out here in LA. And that's unfortunate, because that's my gig. That was my gig. So I'm like, I've got to find other things to do to make money, and the photography end of it, look, it's a natural for me. And I can shoot photography videos, because I know how to make, you know, obviously I know how to run a camera, I know how to move a camera, I know how to light, and all those things. And so, and now all I need to do is get my name out and word out and spread the love, and that's going to be how we're going to make money for headphones, because I need more headphone money. My Abyss is still listed. That's been in a box since I decided to sell that. The stand is still out. The room stand is still out. That's packaged with it. I've had offers for the stand itself. Guys are like, would you sell me the stand? I've also had people go, would you sell me the cable? And I'm like, because I have the superconductor cable, the Big Daddy, the $2,500 superconductor is included with my sale of the Abyss, and I've had offers for each on its own because they're both desirable. I'm like, no, just buy the whole package, and you have an extra headphone. I'm terrible, boys. I can also play, before we go, I can play some of the other music stuff that I was working on. Want to do that? Just put it in the chat if you want to hear any of that, because I have one of the things I wanted to do was come up with an opening for the show when we're not on a normal Wednesday, because you know, all of the jingles, all of the opening music for the show say Humpday Happy Hour. So that I started today with the acoustic thing that I thought was really fun. I hope you did too. But let's check the mixer real quick. Yeah, okay, we're good. But I wanted to I wanted to create some jingles for when we weren't on a Wednesday, because a lot of times now Mrs. Director needs me at like, you know, 3:30, and suddenly I'm like, that's when we're normally starting our live stream. I'm on an hour early. I recognize that, and I'm sorry, but you know, I've got to squeeze this in so we can make the appropriate pickups and keep the wife happy. Happy wife, happy life, boys. But I wanted a different jingle, so I'm not playing happy hour stuff on a, Humpday happy hour on a Friday. It's like, what do we do? It's got to be something different. It's got to be better. And I'm a stickler for like trying to make the production value as good as I can make it. And the other thing is I'm going to take a break from making music for a while because I'm going to allocate my resources somewhere else. It's kind of hard to explain. It's more technical than anything. But I wanted to reallocate some resources away from the music, time and money. And so I'm doing some other things. Because some subscriptions I need for the show, like I have Epidemic Sound. That's all the canned music you're hearing right now underneath. I just love Epidemic Sound. I think they're fantastic. There's in the description below, if you wanted anything for your YouTube channel, there's a discount code down there. You can get a discount by going to Epidemic Sound using that discount code. They make phenomenal stuff. All the sound effects, everything comes from Epidemic Sound for the most part. I have a few legacy things that are mine, but the music itself, all the music is from Epidemic Sound. I just scoured their library for the least listened to stuff, and that's usually the stuff I wind up pulling for my show. I want it to be different because everybody has the same hip hop, the hip hop vibe songs, and they all use the same stuff. And I'm like, no. Find me the quirky stuff that sounds like it's playing at a circus, or find me the quirky stuff that sounds like a cartoon mouse sneaking down a gutter trying to surprise a cat. Dun, 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 dun. That's the shit that I love. That's the stuff that just lights me up, and I think that's perfect for my show. Or stuff that's got a really quirky melody, or a strange beat, or something that sounds like Motown, or whatever. Those are the tracks that I gravitate toward, and they're the stuff that nobody uses off of Epidemic Sound. And they're like this. It's this rich ass library of great material. And most people just stick to like the hip hop and the pop and the things like that. And I'm like, no. I don't want it to sound. One of the things I wanted to do on the show is make it sound unlike anybody else's show. It's going to be different. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be, I'm not going to have just the same canned music everybody else uses. Okay. Finish up the chat and then we'll send you on your way for the rest of the week. Been going an hour. It's been a nice hour with you guys, man. We saw a new t-shirt. We talked about the old episode, the last episode. If you have any questions about eStats too, put them in. Anything about the episode you wanted to know. Did real well. I was very happy with the performance. A lot of people watched it. So getting back out there, we're going to get the show cranked up and start doing more episodes. That's the plan. I don't want to go like 2 or 3 months without an episode again. It's too long for me. I get anxious. I want to keep putting out good content that you guys like. Piano often got the short shrift from those old recordings. Yeah, a lot of times. It depends on the player and what the band was featuring. But yeah. And yes, on the Dexter album. Yeah, Go is phenomenal. There's great stuff. Michael, where's that entertainment? Where's all that entertainment business going? Several different things are happening, Gil, and I'll explain it as best I can. Los Angeles is a very expensive place to do business. There are business taxes, there are fire marshals, there are unions, there are insurance requirements, there are permits, there is a ton of stuff that gets in the way of, I just want to go out and shoot this thing. Got a quick scene, want to go knock it off. Got an agreement from the landowner that I can go on his property and shoot this. LA gets in the way, the film board gets in the way and says, no, you need to pull this permit, you need to show this insurance, you have to use our union people, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do all of these things in order to just be able to go out and shoot. You can't just grab a camera, grab your actors, put up some lights and go shoot, even if you have permission. All these other ancillary steps. You got to have a fire marshal involved, or all of that stuff has to happen, and it's expensive. And so the studio started looking at other places where they could go, where it wasn't so expensive. And Canada was getting a lot of business initially, but they discovered Budapest, Hungary, and Romania. And they discovered that the regulations are nowhere near as bad. The requirements are nowhere near as bad. They would save a fortune on every single shoot. So they built some studios out there, or they bought some studios and then rehabbed them. And now they've got the locations. They're locked up. They own the facilities to do all this shooting. Now all they have to do is move all their production there. Well, that's not a big problem because they're going to move it there anyway to do this one production. They'll do all of their stuff there. So Budapest and Romania are the two places that most of, particularly for CBS, their primetime productions are all coming out of Budapest. It's cheaper to go there and put the cast and crew up. They can put the cast and crew up in cheap lodging. That's very nice. It's just economical. And they found out, and then the people who were doing game shows decided that Ireland would be an outstanding place to produce all their game shows. So all these primetime game shows that pop up, they used to be done in LA, and now they're being done in Ireland. And there was a great interview with Rob Lowe. He was talking with, I forget who he was talking with, Nick Offerman. I don't know, one of the guys from one of the shows he used to be on. And they joked, we could reboot Parks and Rec, and he said, "Oh, we couldn't reboot Parks and Rec unless we're ready to do it in Ireland, because it's never going to happen in the States. You'd never make that show in the States anymore." The other thing that happened was that Atlanta became a hub. Atlanta came up with all these great tax breaks. So Marvel, which was doing all their stuff out of Santa Fe for a long time. Santa Fe was the home of all the original Avengers movies and the Iron Man movies. All that has moved to outside of Atlanta. They have a massive 40 sound stage complex that's just for Marvel. Marvel TV shows, Marvel movies, Marvel content, Marvel video games, all of it gets done outside of Atlanta. Tyler Perry opened his stuff. He's doing a lot of production for his networks in Atlanta. And then Canada for like Hallmark stuff, all that stuff shot in Canada. A lot of Netflix stuff. Netflix is going to move outside of New Jersey. Jersey has offered them a favorable deal, and there's a military base there, an Air Force base that's been abandoned, and it was used on the movie Ghostbusters, the 2016 one where they had the all-girl cast, the one that didn't do real well. That was shot on this military base in New Jersey, and that now is going to be repurposed and be the home of Netflix studios. So a lot of the Netflix stuff is going to be shot in New Jersey. But it's all moving away from LA because it's expensive to do things here. So there you go. So the content, and then, there was, I forgot what the name of it was. There was a period it was called Streaming Gold or something, or the golden era of streaming, golden age of streaming. That's gone. And it was primarily because of the pandemic. Everybody was stuck at home. Nobody had anything to do but watch TV, and Netflix and chill was the way of life for a lot of people. So they couldn't produce, they were just shoving as much content out as they could because they had tons of viewers. Well, now that we're back to a normal environment and people are going to baseball games and they're going to football games, they're going to soccer games, watching their kids' soccer matches, they're back to participating in in-person hobbies. The streaming, the demand for new streaming stuff is lower. So the revenue is down. And so they have to cut back on what they're producing. So yeah, there are fewer new series coming out. And the content's cut back. So there you go. So that's the short of it. So yes, the content is shrinking, but the industry has physically moved out of Los Angeles. 2 to 3 months without Michael Vids is torture. Yeah, I know. I want to do more. I'm to the point now where I'm ready to do more, and I've got some stuff lined up. Certainly the next run of probably 4 or 5 shows is figured out right now, what it's going to look like. And we're going to, we'll have content. I I needed to break to focus on stuff, but it seems like I'm starting to get things going in my regular career again. I'm guerrilla marketing during the days like crazy right now, calling real estate companies and trying to get my name out. And I did that video that I showed at the top of the show. If you hadn't seen it, you can go back up and look at it. It was a little bit comical getting into it because it's a 16:9 video. It's made for your phone. But it, like my tiger? It's my tiger. It's in the backyard. Just kidding. Don't try and steal. The kids, but I wanted to get that video out and, you know, market that. But I showed that at the top of the show. But now I'm trying to just move the business forward. So, yes, offshoring is massive. Massive, massive. It's a huge thing. Michael, what you're going through in the film industry is like trying to start a business in Canada. Horrible bureaucratic torture. Yeah, and that's what it is. It's you have to pay for everything in LA. You have to pay for everything. Sorry, Mrs. Director just chiming in. I'm gonna have to get off the air shortly. So, you know, everything costs money and it's cheaper to go do stuff elsewhere. And this entertainment business is now driven by profit motive more than anything in the world. It's more than anything. So, but that doesn't really affect you guys as much. That's more of a problem for me. That's a me problem. And, but I'm looking forward to the next chapter as I'm going and doing more of this photography stuff. You can check out my Instagram at Directors Garage Photography. Yeah, that's it. You can see my work there and the promo. You can see the live promo that I played earlier in this. We've got new stuff coming though. I did some more music stuff for the show, which is fun. Always fun to drop in. And you'll have that coming up. Have to reach out to Audio 46 and see what they're doing these days. My good buddy Rodrigo and all the fellas over there, Tony. They're all just terrific. They'll probably have some stuff for me in the future. We've got a lot to do. We've got a lot of shows to make. And something coming this week, hopefully, that will be the next show. Next two shows, really. I've got a bunch of stuff coming. So stay tuned for that, guys. So we have a lot coming ahead. And again, I'm going to be at CanJam. And if you like this white shirt, you can, again, get that at this address, directorsgarage.com. Nice white polo. The black looks the inverse of this with a white logo. It's very nice. These are comfortable shirts. I like them. I've been wearing them. And do it for you guys, man. Just trying to have some fun. Spread the love. Spread the enthusiasm for the headphone world. And I look forward to doing more episodes. That episode was a lot of fun to do. It was very involved, though, and very hot, but it was very involved. Like, I just had so many things going on with it. And part of it was, at the beginning of that episode, I sort of did this thing where there was like some electricity or shit going on in the background. I forgot how to do that. Like, I've done it in probably 10 or 15 of the 200 and some episodes. I've probably done it in a dozen or more of those episodes. I just haven't done it in maybe a year. So I'm like, how do I do that again? What did I do? How did I pull that off? Why isn't it lining up? What's going on here? So I had to teach myself how to do that stuff again. It's like you forget. It's just, if you're not doing it all the time, you know, when you're doing it all the time, it's like, oh yeah, I just draw the line and do the thing and, you know, have it figured out. Then you got to do the cutout of yourself and, you know, the rotoscoping and that. And it all kind of works out. It does its own thing. But I had to remember how to do it. I was actually watching, I had to call up an episode from like 2 years ago and call it up into After Effects. And I'm like I'm trying to basically reverse engineer. What did I do here? How did I make that work? Because I couldn't just remember how it would go. I'm like, it's so shameful. I'm like, am I pasting stuff wrong? Am I not copying the keyframe? Is it not, you know, what's the order? It's just funny. It's just funny. But the episode came out great. I was super proud of it, and I hope it was a great surprise for you guys, and it was nice to see something like that. It was a good shootout too. And we will be selling the Carbon 2. I'm just waiting for the market to clear out a little bit. And I showed off those photos earlier. So that's about all I got for today, boys. We'll be back again next week. I don't know if we'll be on at the same time. Hopefully we'll be on the same day, but you never know. But now I have a jingle for that. It's coming. We'll be able to show that off. So on your way out the door, tip your waiters and waitresses. McBeans gives it a thumbs up. And we will be back soon. I will have more content. Probably give you a little tip somewhere. Hangover Hangout this Saturday. $3 gets you in the door. It'll be Saturday from 9:30 Pacific to noon-ish. To kind of... and it's the best hangout. It's so fun, guys. You just got to have a camera and, any computer or iPad or whatever, phone with a camera on the front of it. You can just chime right in, drop in, and see all the guys and ask any question you want, get some advice, or just shoot the shit and tell everybody they're idiots. That's all fine, too. Okay, man. I will see you guys next week, and I'll be back before you know it. I'll see you before you know it. That's what I was trying to say. Cheers, everybody.
At the director's garage. Oh. Set his headphones down. Time. 'Cause it's headphone king. 'Cause it's time for happy hour, people.